Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I've got a non-bingo rack and it's unbalanced with only one vowel. But I can play through this with fleur. This is much more balanced. But duplicate N, duplicate E. I would have bottom A through an O. Do I have anything else? I've got the out prefix through the U. The B prefix. Let me consider the floaters. F doesn't look useful. Not seeing anything with the L. I've got the un prefix as well. And then the R. No, not seeing anything. Okay, great. Just 26 for opponent. What can I do with this rack? J takes an X. Fleur takes S and Y. So the scoring tiles on the board are F and J. Can I get value from either? I'm certainly looking to split up the duplicates and play the B. So what about the F? Can I reach the double word square? Don't think so. Now, beton is good and bonnet, so I've got good candidate plays on my rack, but nowhere to play them. What about a BL word? Well, blent for 18. Not a great rack lead, not a great score, but it's the only play I've seen. So I'm going with it. Ooh, that's the risk of keeping a vowel-heavy rack leave. I've now got a vowel-heavy rack. Fortunately, I've got a scoring tile in the M. So I've got mooey on my rack. Nowhere for that. I could play, well, if OT were good, I could play Phonio is good with an F, but that doesn't play. J takes an O after it, so I have mono in column 7, but that places a vowel next to this double letter square, which is undesirable because it creates a hot spot in column 8. Oh wow, opponent off the blocks first with a bingo. Do I have a bingo of my own through any of these floaters? Let me just consider blent first. An N. No. What about T? One time. Only one O. No. A. No. M. No, although I can see I can play Mimeo. What about a P? No, so no bingo here. Now I could play for 29. Decent score. An okay rack leave. Certainly improved by floating consonants, especially the T's in disparate parts of the board. But I'm setting up a really hot lane in column 11. So can I do better? What about a play in column 8? Double M is good. So do I have a 4 or 5 letter play with M in 4th place? No. It would need to have I or E in 2nd place. Well, I can play Mino here. 30 points, not setting up a hot lane, but with a slightly worse rack leave. Mino's going to be slightly better. Yeah, I'm going with this. Great, I draw the Z, which does go well with vowels. And that's handy because I've got 6 of them. So I'm not in great shape. I trail and I've got a poor rack. So where can I play the Z? I've got Zine in row J, keeping 4 vowels. What else do I have? Nothing around Mino. Bez is good, but I can't get that to score twice. So it's just Zine at the moment. Well, Ionize also for a lower score, but sorting the rack out a lot. Yeah, so it'll be a lower score, but a much better rack leave. And the rack leave after Zine of 4 vowels is really poor. I'm okay with 3 vowels as a rack leave. AEI has positive value. So a lot of the time you're going to get out of jail, but 4 vowels just makes it that bit harder. Now, opponent could block both of my plays in row J, but they may also be attracted to column 10 or this triple letter square next to the E. Now I have Piezzo in row E. It does put a Z underneath a double word square, but it's not a decent candidate play. Just keeping 3 vowels. But I think Ionize is my preferred option at the moment. Opponent taking a while on this play. How much further are they going to go ahead? And what other options do I have? Now, opponent's played Hay, which is good. It leaves alone Ionize. And this rack leave is pretty decent. Only 17 points, so I'm sacrificing 16 points to burn I and O. I think it's worth it. Yeah, I'm going with this. And Ionize takes an L in front. I've drawn one. I've got Wheeling and Lionize. Wow, and Wheeling and U. So I am bingoing. Fantastic. And very unexpected. If I weren't to have that bingo, I would also have AW and Wet. So what a difference a good draw makes. Now, Wheeling doesn't get doubled, but I do get the points from Ionize. Wheeling also puts a vowel next to this triple letter square. So maybe Wheeling in row K is going to be better. And does Wheeling have an anagram? Oh, wow. Opponent's taken out my Wheeling spot, provided a new one. And although G is opening column 15, it's covering the double letter square and is not particularly useful for triple triples. 87 points is huge. Let me just see what Wheeling scores. Here, 81, fewer points and a much more dangerous opening. So I'm going with this play. Oh, invalid. Ouch. That was unexpected. Does this have a valid anagram? Oh, wow. Not good. Well, no, I don't think it does. I'm not seeing anything ending ing. And no floaters to consider. Wow, big moment. But I've got all here for 36. Keeping ing together. That's 36. So an alternative would be law-ing for 42. And again, G in second place, not particularly dangerous. And this double letter square is protected from big tiles. So EGIN was quite a good rack lead, but not a great one. Probably not worth anything more than +5. So I think lawing is a better play. I'm going with this. Horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Gosh, and I trail. Wow. Why did I think wheeling was good? So, what am I going to do here? Zap is good. Ed takes H and S. Still one H to come. But this rack may be bad enough to change. W is particularly awful. Well, I think Poupe is good. And that is just about going to be better than changing. POUPE. 18 points, keeping double EU. Still got the Q to come. Opponent may play bottom left for a lowly score. Doesn't. Oh wow, and plays in the spot I had in mind. Doesn't create anything new for me. So this is going to open the board up, which I want to do since I trail. Poop for 18. More vowels. I think in the last game I had a lot of consonant heavy racks. The opposite affliction in this game. So good scoring tile in the Y, given all the vowels. So a play of EYE would be better than changing. Opponent afflicted in their own way, but with these. Just so many ways you can have a poor rack in Scrabble. So I've got iron here. 25 points, pretty humble score. And a very ropey rack leave. Do I have anything at the bottom? I don't have anything to go to the left of the I, so I don't think I do. Interesting. I could play Yeve, which takes an N, which I've got, and I've got a U for an unword, and this is 20 points. I think this is just about better than changing. Just look at this rack leave, but only one U to come, so it can't get terribly worse, and it may get a lot better. Well, I do draw the Q, which goes well with the U. Can't really take advantage of the N hook. Well, I've got Knut, but that's burns the U, retaining the Q. So I'm half a bingo behind, but opponent on turn. Oh, if I had an A, I would have Qua, bottom left. Do I have anything ending QUA? No. So although the U is good for the Q, the rest of the rack not so good. Fantastic bingo by opponent. With the X, with one of the blanks. So I now trail by over 100. What to do? Gosh, no A for Quake, which would sort the rack out. I don't have to play off the Q, especially if there's no good scoring spots. But if I don't, I'm looking to play the K. I don't have a... Well, only my U can go to the left of the G, and I want to hang on to that. "11 minutes on my clock." So, what about doing this? Knee for 38 points, pretty decent, and I'm retaining QU, which has got positive value, and a lot of A's to come. If I draw just one of them, I'll have Qua bottom left. I'm going with this. I dodge all of the A's. Oh well. And another bingo for opponent, 77 points, and the second blank. Wow. Okay, so not going my way. But what's the best I can do with this rack? 15 tiles to come, or 15 tiles in the bag. I've got Souk. Nowhere great for that. I've got QI onto the Eye of Lion Eyes. Can't get the Q doubled going through this N. In fact, not seeing anything through that N. 10 minutes on my clock. I could just play Qua onto the A of Or. I could play Quota, sorting out the duplicate T. So dropping 7 points, but splitting up the duplicate T is worth 5 points. So these moves are similar. Wow, if I had an H, I would have Quotha in this spot. That would be nice. Now, am I missing something super hot for the Q? It could go above the Eye of Geraniol. No. Not seeing anything better than Quota. I'm going, wow, 3 eyes to come. Am I setting up opponent for a super hot eye spot? I've got Quad on my rack. I have Souks from the S of 16s. I could play Souk here. This is the last S on my rack, so hooking Souk is available just for me, and this is 22 points. I am going with this. Just the one vowel. So I'm just scanning the board to see how many bingos I've played this game, and it's 0. And I think it was 0 in the last game as well, so sometimes you hit these troughs. 13 tiles to come. No E's to come. 9 vowels. So opponent wisely taking out the N floater. 10 tiles in the bag. How can I sort this rack out? I'd quite like to play Dolt somewhere, but I'm not seeing anywhere for that. I think Poop may take a D. Yeah, I'm not seeing anywhere for Dolt or Told. What about through this I? Diglot is good with a G. Oh, well, I have Dolt here for 17, and I think this is the best rack leave. If I draw vowels, I may have a bingo beginning with S. I'm going with this. So, dictions through an I. Now, 35 for opponent. 3 tiles in the bag, 2 new bingo lanes. Nothing with a C. And that could be begin SC as well as just C. What about the H? No. So 3 tiles in the bag. I'd like to play off 2. Leaving 1 in the bag. Five vowels out of 10. So a very balanced bag. C is quite bingo-y. However, there is a C floater. 6 minutes on my clock. So I could play odd here. This rack lead looks like it goes quite well with an A. However, the con prefix is quite useful. So, what about playing off 2 consonants? Maybe C and D. Yeah, the rack leave of INOST looks pretty useful. So I can play Sid here. This looks quite a flexible rack leave. Is there any way of setting up a new lane? I don't think so. I'm going with this. And I draw A and O. Do either of those give me bingos? So I'm looking at a floating C, which remains available. Bag is empty. Not seeing anything. What about an H, a tissue plus an N? No, wow, another dry game in terms of bingos. Absolutely no bingos. Very difficult to win a game of Scrabble without bingoing. So, what to do here? Opponent I don't think is going out with their rack. If I play Axis, 25 points, then I've got Tune in column 11, which may remain available. Difficult to set up 2 outs because it's hard to play anything in the top left of the board. So I'm going with this. Not seeing anything through the H or onto the A. I've got plays in row M, but they don't use all my tiles. Onto is the anagram of tune that I have. Can I smash through the 300-point barrier? I would need 17 points to do that. I'd get 16 for tune plus countback, so I would if that spot remains available. I'm really curious to see the analysis. I don't feel I've missed anything, but surely I have. And have I missed any bingos? Opponent plays 2E, correctly taking out my tune spot. Is opponent going out with GR? Probably not. Reg and G, so yes they are. So let me play up here. They may have another out. But if they don't, I'm surely going out with an O. I've got OH and HO. And opponent does go out. And the final score, 295 for me, 455 for opponent, a winning margin of 160 points. So well done to opponent. Let's see what I missed. Wow, brutal drubbing. So it was me to go first. I play Fleur, that looks fine. Opponent plays Je. Phew, no missed bingo, but B7. B7 Bento and Joe, that's nice, 17 points. I play Blent for 18 points, keeping the O, so I think Bento fractionally better. Great rack for opponent, and they play Tampers, which takes an S in front. I'm only really registering that now. So there was a play in column 8 getting the M in 4th place, Neem, but look at this rack leave. I play Mino for 10 fewer points, keeping EIO. Well, these rack leaves are going to differ in value by, I would say, at least 5, so that would mean the plays are within 5 of each other when taking into account score and rack leave. Therefore, I prefer the play with the better rack leave, but very little between these plays. Mooner's nice, slightly better rack leave, but a big scored sacrifice. Likewise with but also had the demerit of setting up a hotspot for opponent. Now, opponent's rack. They had Hayride, E7. Gosh, parallel to Je. They play Hay. I have this horror show. E9, Pies and Piezzo for 32. But retaining 3 vowels. Interesting. I play I and I's, keeping EI. I could have got 15 more points with Piezzo. But this extra I damages the rack leave by 5 for being a duplicate, plus more for being a third vowel, plus the Z on the board next to the double letter square means opponent's going to score more on their turn on average than after I and I's. So if Piezzo is better, it's only going to be by a small amount. Now, opponent with obviated through a T, none available, plays Adobe, and here we go. This is where I thought I had wheeling, but I didn't. Fortunately, this is void challenge, so I was able to get luring down without missing a turn. And missed bingo, Vauntier, E11 through the E of Adobe. And opponent plays AW. I play Poop for 18. 8 more points on offer, keeping duplicate U. That's not a better play. Yeah, so of these top 4, certainly Poop looks best. Opponent plays Vive. I have this unedifying rack. And I play Yi for 20, keeping double E and U with half an eye on the Yaven hook. So, wow. I was going to say Miss Bingo, but opponent does spot one of these X bingos, 16s, unsexiest and unsexist, and syntaxis also available. But for just 10 fewer points, they could have played sex, retaining the blank and the S. So where's that? F8. Oh, sext, oxt, and ut. That would have been nice. Now, I was delighted to draw the Q after retaining the U. I couldn't see anything great. Queens, N6. Ah, well, it's not a great score, under 40, and providing a vowel next to a triple word square. So I play knee for 38, 1 more point, and retaining QU, so I like my play. Great rack for opponent. They have Geraniol, which sealed my fate. So, G11, Souk, that was my play. Opponent plays Roof. And now, what do? I played Dolt for 17, but D14. Wow, look at this. Vo, Pooped, and Souks. 40 points. And I think my rack is sufficiently far away from a bingo that I'm better off taking those points. I'm certainly not going to win the game from this point, regardless of whether I bingo. So yeah, the points are sufficiently good for odds that I should have that it makes it a better play. Now opponent plays Ich. No bingo. I play Sid to leave 1 in the bag. Big score sacrifice, A14, East. Wow, that is a tricky one to spot for 37 points. K12, Stoic. All of these 30-point plays probably better than my 12-point effort. I'm very unlikely to bingo. But opponent leaves the door open by not taking out these hooks. But no bingo. So I play Axis for 25. Maybe I should have played Tune first, retaining the Axis threat. And surely I would have been able to go out with SAI. Suddenly, somewhere on the board, I would have SAI Ion, but not Ada. Oh well. Fairly academic. Opponent plays 2E. No out for me. I play Not, and opponent finds their only out in Gur. So, what a game. Absolutely brutal stuff. At the moment, I can't play a bingo, and I can't get over 300 points, but these are the swings and roundabouts of tournament-level Scrabble play. Fortunately, I love the game of Scrabble, and even when you're facing games like this where you lose, you've still had the intellectual challenge on each play of trying to find the best play, and there is some satisfaction when you go through the analyzer at the end and you find out that your plays are amongst the top options. So many congratulations to opponent on their victory. I hope you enjoyed watching that game. Like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.